So welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs in a very short span of time. Now today's lecture is going to be short because the news items that we are going to discuss today are not that lengthy. Nonetheless, they are important, so pay close attention. And do not forget to revise this lecture from the notes provided by us on our Telegram channel. Please do not forget to do that. It is the only way of retaining these current affairs till your exams. Otherwise, they will quickly get out of your memory. Okay? Now, let's begin today's discussion. But first, let's take a look at the list of topics that we shall cover today. Okay? So let's begin. So daily current affairs, 11 September, Thursday. And here is the topics list. Number one topic on this list is Himachal Pradesh declared a fully literate state. With that, it has become the fifth state or UT to be called fully literate. Now, what is the definition of being fully literate? How did Himachal Pradesh achieve this? We'll talk about this literacy program of India. Okay. Then you all know that Israel attacked Doha and killed some members of the Hamas delegation. Now it is being condemned all over the world. In fact, India has condemned Israeli actions on Qatar. Doha is the capital of Qatar. So we will basically focus on Qatar. Because Israel has attacked many countries before. But why attacking Qatar is significant. Okay, so we will talk about Qatar, its geographical location, because location-based questions are asked in your prelims. Okay, and we'll talk about its geopolitical significance. So this topic is wholly focused on Qatar. Okay, then third topic is geotagging of buildings that would be done for the very first time in India's census exercise. As you all know, the 16th census shall be conducted in 2027, 6 years late it is, but there are a number of first things that are being done in this 16th census. So we'll talk about this geotagging. What is geotagging? And geotagging of buildings, how beneficial it is. Okay, and in the end we'll talk about the link between autism and consumption of paracetamol. Consumption of paracetamol by pregnant ladies have indicated, consumption of paracetamol, some studies have indicated that pregnant ladies who have consumed paracetamol a lot, well, they have delivered babies with autism. Now, what is autism? What is its link with paracetamol? We will talk about this. Okay, so these are the four news items that we shall zero in our attention on. So let's start discussing them one by one. Starting with Himachal Pradesh declared a fully literate state. Okay. Now, Himachal Pradesh has become the fifth state or UT to be declared fully literate. The other four are Ladakh, UT of Ladakh, Goa, Tripura, Mizoram. Okay, so these four states or UTs have been declared fully literate. Now, Himachal has become the fifth state to be called fully literate. Now, the question for us to understand is what is the definition of literacy in our country? Okay. How can a state be declared fully literate? What is the criteria for that? So we will try to investigate two questions. What is the definition of literacy? And what is the criteria for being a fully literate region? Okay. And how did Himachal Pradesh or any of these four states achieve this? Okay. How did government or how is government trying to achieve this? Okay. Full literacy. So let's talk about these things. Okay. So Himachal declared fully literate. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the definition of literacy. Okay, so what is the definition of literacy? Very simple. Okay, you are considered literate if you can read, write, and do basic calculations. Okay, basic calculations with understanding. So if you can read or write any language, okay, remember, not English, any language. So if you can read and write any language with basic understanding and you can do basic subtraction, addition, division, multiplication, you are considered literate. Okay. Now, how do we measure literacy rate? Okay. Census of India measures literacy rate. Now, how do we measure that? So all people above the age of 7, if they can read, write, do basic calculations, are considered literate. So when we say that India's literacy rate is 75%. That means 75% of Indians above the age of 7, this word is important, this criteria is important, above the age of 7 can read, write and do basic calculations. Okay, this is the definition of overall literacy. Okay, literacy rate basically. Clear? So 75% means 75% of people above the age of 7. Remember this. But there is this another thing called adult literacy. Okay, what is adult literacy? So there is overall literacy rate, then there is adult literacy rate. How do we measure adult literacy rate? The definition is same, okay, but the age threshold is different. So all people above the age of 15, if they can read, write and do basic maths, they are considered literate. But for adults, there is this threshold, 15 years of age. So everyone above 15 years of age are calculated for adult literacy. Remember, for overall literacy, it's 7. For adult literacy, it's 15. Clear? Now, the thing is that, well, if India's literacy rate is low, okay, it's low, then there is a way to solve that. You get as many children as possible into schools. Okay, so get as many children as possible into schools, give them education and they will become literate. But what about those people who have crossed the age of school education? There are many illiterate Indians who have crossed the age of 30, 40, 50. How will you give them literacy or basic literacy? These people are outside the school system. And once they are outside the school system, there is no formal way of educating them and making them literate. So people who have crossed the age of school education, it is very difficult to educate them, right? And that is why it is very difficult to achieve full literacy. Full literacy. Because there will always be those individuals who have crossed the age of school education and are illiterate. Right? Now, to solve for this problem, government launched various programs for adult literacy. So all those adults who are old but need basic literacy, foundational literacy skills, well, government will educate them for solving adult literacy. And various states have been running programs for adult literacy to basically catch those people who have crossed the age of school education but need to be made literate. Clear? Now, all states are running various programs. Some central schemes are also there. We'll discuss one central scheme for this, for adult literacy. But one more definition is important. How do we say that this particular state is fully literate? Okay. Now remember, well, Ministry of Education has given this definition. Ministry of Education says that if in a state more than 95% of people are literate, then we will give them the full literacy status. So it need not be 100%. In fact, Himachal Pradesh is somewhat around 99% literate. It's not 100%. But Ministry of Education says that if you cross 95%, we will give you this tag of full literacy. By the way, remember, achieving full literacy is challenging because it is difficult to educate those people who have crossed the barrier of school education, the age barrier of school education, right? Main challenge is adult literacy. Plus, achieving 100% literacy is one of the sustainable development goals. There are 17 sustainable development goals that we have to achieve by 2030. Universal literacy, 100% literacy is one such goal. But the biggest roadblock in achieving this sustainable development goal is adult literacy. Now, which program has the government launched, which was followed by these 5 states and UTs for achieving full literacy, for achieving adult literacy? What is that government program? The name of that program is ULLAS. Okay? Understanding lifelong learning for all in society. This is the full form of ULLAS. So it is a program that was launched in 2022 by Ministry of Education, and its basic target is adult literacy, educating adults who have crossed school education age. Okay. Now, how does this entire thing work? Okay. How do you do this? So adult learners are first government conducts surveys. Then they find out those people, those adults who are illiterate. Then those adult people are given basic education up to class 3. Up to class 3, you know how to read, write and do basic mathematics. Plus, they are also given some foundational skills like how to use net banking, how to write a check, deposit a demand draft, some basic foundational digital and banking literacy. Okay, financial literacy is given. Now, the training is provided either through mobile app or offline by community volunteers. There are people who volunteer for this. Okay. After they have received their education up till grade 3, they have to give a test, which is known as Functional Literacy Numeracy Assessment Test, 150-mark test. If they pass this test, then they are given a certificate by NIOS, National Institute of Open Learning. Okay. NIOS gives them the certificate, and that certificate is proof that this person has foundational literacy. Now, what did Himachal Pradesh do? Himachal Pradesh did door-to-door surveys, and after conducting those door-to-door surveys, it found out which adults are illiterate. Then it ran this entire Ullas program with them and gave them these certificates. Okay. Now in Himachal Pradesh, more than 95% of people are either products of school education, and those adults which never went to school have been given these certificates for crossing FL-NAT exam by NIOS. Okay, that's how you count how many literate people or adult literate people are there. So this is the Ullas program. By the way, there are so many other programs that have been launched by governments in the past, central government and state government, for adult literacy, people beyond school education. Okay, now those old adult literacy programs are given in your notes, so just go through them, of previous Congress governments, then previous BJP governments and many governments before them as well. So just go through those programs, adult literacy programs. Clear? That would be all. Now let's quickly shift our focus to second news item, and that is, well, Israel attacks Doha, Qatar. Now, what is in the news? Now, what was in the news? Basically, what happened was, you all know that Israel and Hamas are fighting in Gaza. Now, the entire world wants to bring in peace in that region because it has been a humanitarian crisis. Now, the most neutral country in the world that has friendly relations with everyone is Qatar. Okay. Now, a delegation from Hamas's leadership was in Qatar to discuss the peace plan provided by Donald Trump, USA, and many others. Okay. How to achieve peace between Israel and Hamas. For the discussion on that peace plan, well, Hamas's leadership was in Qatar, the capital of Qatar, Doha. Okay. Now, what had happened a few days back was, well, there was a shooting, mass shooting in Jerusalem, Israel, and 6 Israelis died. Now, Israel blamed this on Hamas, and Israel wanted to take revenge for that. Okay. Now, this Hamas leadership was in Doha, so Israel launched airstrikes in Doha, Qatar. Israel launched airstrikes in Qatar, killing many people in the Hamas delegation. Now, this is being criticized all over the world. Why? Because Israel conducted airstrikes in a foreign country, a foreign neutral country. Okay? This is gross violation of international law. Article 2, Clause 4 of United Nations Charter says that you cannot use force against a country's territorial integrity and sovereignty. But Israel did that against Qatar. Plus, Qatar does not have any bad relations with Israel. Qatar is neutral. But Israel did that, saying that we took revenge or retaliated against that Jerusalem shooting. Okay? Now, everyone is criticizing Israel for this, including India. In a rare event, India also condemned this attack of Israel on Qatar. India rarely does that against Israel, but India did this against Israel this time. Now the question is, Israel has attacked many countries in the past. It has attacked Iran, it attacked Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, Iraq. Okay, it has attacked so many countries. But why are people making so much noise when it attacked in Qatar? surely Qatar is way more significant than all the other countries. Yes? So today's topic would focus on the significance of Qatar. Okay. Now, because location based questions are asked in your prelims, therefore we will talk about the geographical location of Qatar, but then we will talk about the geopolitical significance of Qatar. Okay. So let's quickly talk about this. So Israel's attack on Doha. First, let's talk about the geographical location of Qatar. So as you can see on this map, okay, well, Qatar is in Persian Gulf. Clear? This is UAE, this is Saudi Arabia. Now, the only country with which Qatar shares a land border with is Saudi Arabia. Otherwise, it is surrounded on all sides by Persian Gulf. Okay? Yes, it is close to Bahrain, Iran and UAE, but it shares its land border with Saudi Arabia only. But Qatar is significant. First of all, Qatar is an extremely rich country. And the reason why it is rich is because it has one of the largest reserves of natural gas in the world. It is one of the largest exporter of LNG in the world. Okay? It is extremely rich and wealthy. Plus, it is politically neutral. It has good relations with all countries. Okay? Some countries which are political pariahs in the world, they also have good relations with Qatar. But Qatar is a very close ally of United States of America. In fact, United States of America has given Qatar the status of non-NATO ally. Non-NATO ally means Qatar is not part of NATO, yet it is as close to USA as other NATO countries. In fact, one of the largest air bases of USA in the world is in Qatar. So it shares very good relations with Qatar. Clear? And therefore, Israel attacking an American ally is making a lot of noise. Because if Israel can do that with an American ally, then Israel can do that with any other American ally. So all the American allies, which were such big supporters of Israel, are also up in arms against this action of Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel. Clear? Now, as far as the geographical location of Qatar is concerned, keep this map in mind. You will be able to solve all the questions related to location of Qatar in your prelims. Now, let's talk about the political significance of Qatar. Okay? Geopolitical, basically. So, first of all, it is a global energy giant. Like I said, it is one of the biggest exporters of LNG, and it has one of the largest natural gas reserves in the world. The world requires natural gas. If anything happens to Qatar, the supply of this LNG would decline, and this would increase prices of natural gas in the entire world. So all the other countries, including India, would be affected. Okay, that is why they don't like anything happening to Qatar, because Qatar, well, is a major supplier of energy to the world. Then Qatar also plays a big role as a mediator. Like I said, it is a neutral country. It has good relations with everyone. American allies, anti-American countries also. Everyone can come and talk in Qatar. That is why Qatar plays a huge role as a mediator. What do you mean by that? Anti-American parties and American parties can come to Qatar and discuss, hold talks. So it has a significant role over here. Plus, Qatar follows an open door policy, which means all nations are welcome in Qatar. Okay? Anti-American countries, American allies, everyone is welcome. That is why it holds a special place. And it is a crucial American ally. Okay? If anything happens to Qatar, as per the promise given by USA would intervene against that country, harming Qatar. But this time, Israel did this. Now, USA, I don't know what USA will do to Israel. We don't know. We don't know what will happen in future. But I'm just telling you about the seriousness of this situation. A very close ally of USA attacked another close ally of USA. It's a serious situation. Clear? So this is the thing. That's about it. Just focus on Qatar as far as this thing is concerned. Okay? And now we will quickly shift our focus to third news item, and that is geotagging of buildings. Okay? Now, this would be the first census where geotagging of buildings would be done. Now, the question is, what is geotagging? Okay, so we will quickly jump into what is geotagging, why is it important, and we'll talk about the 16th census that is going to be conducted in 2027. We will just gather the basic information. That's about it. Okay. So yes, let's quickly jump into this topic. So geotagging of buildings. Now, what do you mean by geotagging? When you see Google Maps, you basically see this symbol. Okay. This symbol is basically attached to a particular location. This symbol is nothing but a geotag. And geotag basically gives the precise location of a particular place, building, or a organization. Okay. Now that precise location is measured in coordinates, latitude and longitudinal coordinates. These are the coordinates. Because if you give the coordinates of a place, the precise location of that place on the entire planet is known. So if buildings are geotagged, we will know their precise location. Okay, and geotagging of buildings would be done for the first time in the census exercise. Now this census is special. Okay, first of all, this is the 16th census. Census, as you all know, is conducted every 10 years. Okay, if there was no COVID, this 16th census would have been conducted in 2021, but because of COVID, things got delayed and it will be conducted 6 years after its normal time. Okay, so it's delayed by 6 years. Okay, it is being conducted in 2027. Now this 16th census is a series of firsts. Okay, first of all, the 16th census would be the first digital census. It would be the first time where people will have the option of self-enumeration. People will give their details on their own. Okay, this would be the first census where caste-based data would also be gathered. It would be the first caste census of independent India. Remember, caste census was conducted during British rule. In independent India, caste-based data was not gathered. And the fourth thing is geotagging of buildings. Now remember another thing. Okay, this geotagging of building would be done in first phase of census. You should know this, that census is conducted in two phases. Okay, phase 1, where households or houses are basically located and counted. Okay, household listing operation. This is the first phase where surveyors go out and they basically identify the households where people live. Okay, HLO. The second phase is when they ask questions to people and gather population data. So population enumeration is the second phase. Now this geotagging shall be done in the first phase. Okay. Now what are the benefits of this geotagging? Well, first of all houses in India, accurate location data would be available. Okay. Plus, we will have a good list of all households, places where people live. So basically, this is a good exercise. Like I said before, today the lecture will be short because very short news items are there. So that's about it. That's all the information you need. Though, do read this topic from the notes provided by us. I repeat it every time, but reading from notes is important. Okay? And we shall quickly shift our focus to fourth topic of the day, and that is autism and paracetamol. Now, recently, Health Secretary of USA, okay, RFK Jr., well, he made a claim that there are certain studies which say that if pregnant ladies take a lot of paracetamol to basically counter fever or any other inflammation in their body, if they take paracetamol tablets, well, there is a high chance that their baby will be suffering from autism. Now, autism is a neurological and lifelong condition that kids suffer from, and you suffer from this from birth. Autism is a condition which is a neurological condition. Okay, there is no cure for it, only supportive care can be given. Now, he says, Health Secretary of USA says that consuming a lot of paracetamol can cause autism in babies. Now, many experts and scientists have disputed that, but there are some studies which make this link between paracetamol and autism. Okay, so we will focus on autism. What is autism? Do you know, in fact, Elon Musk has also said that he was autistic. He had autism. Nonetheless, well, we will first understand what is autism, and then we will try to identify this link between paracetamol and autism. Okay, so let's straight away jump into the topic. So autism and paracetamol. So first of all, what is autism? So basically the official name for it is autism spectrum disorder. Okay, autism spectrum disorder. Basically, it is a neurological condition. Neurological means something with your brain. Now, some of the symptoms of kids who suffer from autism are, well, they have difficulty in social communication. They have difficulty in making eye contact. These kids do not make eye contact. They don't know how to express emotions. They don't understand other people's emotions. If someone else is crying in front of them, they won't understand that these people are sad. What is sadness? They won't understand it. So they have difficulty in social communication. They don't make eye contact. Then they have repetitive behaviors. Either they'll bang their feet or they'll do this or flip their pen. They have repetitive behaviors. Plus, they have atypical sensory reaction. So if there is very bright light, it would really hurt them. If there is a very loud sound, it would really hurt them. They would start screaming. It really hurts them. So they have atypical sensory reaction. Now, and they have some learning disabilities also. Many things can be there. Clear? The thing is, there is no cure for this. And only supportive care can be given. Okay? But the thing with autism is, it is for a reason that it is called a spectrum disorder. Because there is a spectrum of autism. People who lie on the lower end of the spectrum won't be suffering from these symptoms that much. They would have difficulty in making eye contact, but it won't be that much. Then there are people who are at the higher spectrum. They would never make an eye contact. So there is a difference of degrees. Some people have low autism, some people have very high autism. Clear? That is why it is called a spectrum. Now, Elon Musk has also claimed that, well, he also was autistic. But surely his autism must have been of low grade. But this is what autism is. Now, what is its link with paracetamol? The thing is, there were some studies that were published which said that prenatal consumption, which means pregnant ladies consuming paracetamol. Now, they do consume paracetamol because during pregnancy, there are all sorts of problems, inflammation in body, fever and all that. So, they do consume paracetamol. Now, prenatal consumption of paracetamol can cause autistic kids. Well, that was basically the claim made by some studies. But the thing is that many researchers dispute this claim also. So the research is not final. Some very few researchers say that there is a link between paracetamol and autism. Most of them say there is no link. In fact, they say that if fever is not treated, okay, if a pregnant lady's fever is not treated, then it can cause many other problems also. So it is important to cure fever first. Therefore, paracetamol is important. So the debate is out there. Clear? That would be all. With that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. But please do not forget to revise this lecture from the notes. Okay? And on that note, I'll be signing off with the promise of seeing you again with another set of news items. Thank you, everyone.